All are welcome. Welcome all. All are welcome. So good to be here with y'all. I'm happy to hear Reverend Stephen's message today. I think it's something that's going to speak very clearly to me today for various reasons because of the subject matter. It's about conflict and fighting and how to resolve things. Hopefully, we're going to learn some ways to do that, like peacefully and lovingly. And today's prelude, you'll see, is by Karen Carpenter. But I think of Karen Carpenter's vocals like I do Barbra Streisand's. They are unmatched. So I'm not going to sing Karen Carpenter's Hurting Each Other, but more spoken word. So if you know the song and you can hear it in your head, that's fine. And if you don't know the song, then let these words speak to you and ponder on these words. And we're still some folks entering, so I'm going to give them a moment to come on in. Welcome all. So glad you're here today. And we have another special guest musician today I'm looking forward to. Skylar Conover is here. And I'm so very pleased with, it takes a team to make this happen. And by the way, I'm Jori Costello, if you don't know me. And there are many, many people on the team that run slides and run sound and run camera and think about what kind of things we need and want here and all kind of things. And you can get involved in various ways. And we're going to have a dance soon later this month. And those details are to be finalized very soon. I'm very excited about it. All right, on to conflict and seriousness. No one in the world ever had a love as sweet as my love. For nowhere in the world could there be a one as true as you love. All my love I give gladly to you. All your love you give gladly to me. Tell me why then, oh why should it be that we go on hurting each other? We go on hurting each other, making each other cry, making each other hurt, without ever knowing why. Closer than the leaves on a weeping willow, baby, we are. Closer, dear, are we, than the simple letters A and B are. All my life I could love only you. All your life you could love only me. Tell me, why then, oh why should it be that we go on hurting each other? We go on hurting each other, making each other cry, hurting each other, without ever knowing why. Can't we stop hurting each other? Gotta stop hurting each other, making each other cry, breaking each other's heart, tearing each other apart, making each other cry, breaking each other's heart, tearing each other apart, making each other cry, breaking each other's heart, tearing each other apart. Can't we stop hurting each other?
Thank you, Jori. Welcome to this gathering of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. I am the minister, Reverend Dr. Stephen Gaines. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our interconnections, connections to each other, to all of life, and to the precious universe of which we are a part. We affirm the universality of love and hope as we journey together in community. And we welcome you, whoever you are at this moment, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those joining us for the first time on Facebook, please check out our website, uufayetteville.org, for more information and to sign up to receive the weekly email. You can always unsubscribe if you wish. For those visiting us here in person today, you can find in the seat backs visitor information cards, and we'd love for you to fill these out so we can get you on the email list and keep you informed of UUFF happenings. If you already gave your name and contact information, you don't need to do that again. There are also yellow joys and concerns cards in the seat backs. If you have a joy or concern that you would like to share, we invite you to fill out a card. There's a place to indicate if you want your joy or concern shared, or if you want it to be confidential, shared only with leadership. In a few minutes, you will have an opportunity to bring the card up front if you want, and whether you do a card or not, you can still come to the front and drop a stone. If you are watching on Facebook, you may write joys and concerns in the comments there at that time. In the joys and concerns time, please note that those comments will be public. A staff nursery is available downstairs. Thank you for joining us for this service, and now Maddie and Gabe will lead us in lighting the chalice.
We invite you to join us in reading these words as we light our chalice. The words are on the screen and in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together. Now let's sing hymn number 1025 in the Teal Book.
Thank you all. So this is a round, and there are some Latin words up there, but my Latin is not very good, so we're just going to stick with the English translation. The Latin does mean peace come in time. So let's go through the song a couple times, and then I'll tell you where the round comes in and see if we can get it going on. So I'm going to say, it's only 3 lines, so I hope that we can get it going around and around. Here it is all the way through. When will the fighting cease? When will we live in peace? When our love breaks boundaries? When will we fighting cease? When will we live in peace? When our love breaks boundaries. All right, now the second part, let's just say the far side, you're going to come in on the word cease. When will the fighting? When will the fighting? So let's try that. 1, 2, here we go. When will the fighting cease? When will we live in peace? When our love breaks boundaries? When will the fighting cease? When will we live in peace? When our love breaks boundaries? When will the fighting cease? When will we live in peace? When our love breaks boundaries? When will the fighting cease? When will we live in peace? When our love breaks boundaries? Love breaks boundaries. Nice. Thank you.
As a diverse people, we share our various joys and concerns. Sometimes we're happy, and sometimes we're devastated. Sometimes we rejoice, and sometimes we mourn. In all those times, we support and care for each other. So we invite you to share your ups and downs as you desire. You're invited to come to the front and drop a stone for any joy or concern, shared or confidential, expressed or held in your heart. As you drop your stone, may you experience the spreading of love and support. You may also bring your cards to me. On the cards, please indicate whether your comment is confidential or to be shared. If you need to stay where you are, feel free to raise the card so someone can get it and bring it up here. If you're attending virtually, you may write your joys and concerns in the comments. Those comments will be public and shared. Thank you. I'll drop a couple stones in for those joys and concerns. And also, I drop a stone for joys and concerns not spoken. And I drop another stone for joys and concerns we will experience in the coming week. Let's have a moment of silence as we hold all of these joys and concerns in our hearts. Now it's time for the offering. The important work of this fellowship is possible because of generous contributions of time, energy, and money. Every contribution of every size is helpful and appreciated. As we pass the offering baskets, we invite you to share financially. If you prefer, you may give online at uufayetteville.org or mail checks to our office.
Good morning, you beautiful people. Can a pirate and a prince learn to share? That's the tagline for this story, called The Fort. As the prince strutted toward his castle, he daydreamed about the royal feast he was planning. He imagined music and food and fun with friends. But when he crossed the moat to begin decorating, the prince discovered the castle was not at all like he had left it. What is this? A useless treasure map scribbled on my invitation? The prince paced around the great hall and stepped on an eye patch. Oh, no. A pirate has invaded my castle. The prince tidied up and rid the castle of all things pirate. He wasn't about to let a rotten pirate keep him from hosting his royal feast. The next day, as the pirate paraded toward her ship, she daydreamed about the swashbuckling voyage she was charting. She imagined overflowing treasure chests and adventure on the high seas. But when she walked up the gangway to ready the ship, the pirate discovered someone else had been on board. Arrgh! An invitation to a silly feast written on my treasure map? The pirate clomped around the galley and tripped on a crown. Shiver me timbers! A prince has raided my ship! The pirate swabbed the decks and rid the ship of all things royal. She wasn't about to let a pompous prince keep her from sailing away to find treasure. The prince returned the next morning, only to find once again his castle was not at all like he left it. That dreadful pirate has made a mess of everything, he cried. And late that afternoon, the pirate discovered yet again someone had been aboard her ship. That puffed-up prince came back, she bellowed. When the prince arrived at his castle on the day of the royal feast, he yanked the tablecloth off the flagpole and smoothed it down on the tablecloth. And then he heard a voice outside, a pirate voice singing a sea chanty. "Blow me down," the pirate hollered. "What are you doing on my ship?" "Nonsense. This is my castle. And if you don't stay out, I'll put you in the dungeon," declared the prince. He stomped onto the drawbridge to defend the castle. The pirate seized her sword from him to stop the mutiny. "Never! I will not abandon my ship. If you don't leave, I'll make you walk the gangplank." "You can't. I'm planning a royal feast for friends." The prince waved the invitation. "No pirates allowed." The pirate grabbed the paper. "I'm going on an adventure in search of buried treasure. No royalty allowed." "Who wants to live on a stinky ship anyway?" shouted the prince. "I'd rather go to the moon." The moon. They both eyed the fort. "Aye," she said, "a voyage into space." "On a spaceship?" he asked, imagining being the mission commander, guiding their spacecraft and orbiting the Earth together. "Yes, on this spaceship," she agreed, imagining being the chief scientist leading space exploration and making new scientific discoveries. "Close the hatch!" The two astronauts prepared the spaceship for launch. She inspected the space helmets. He adjusted the oxygen hoses. She tested the robotic arm. He studied the mission instructions. "Mission control, ready for departure." You could count down with me if you want. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Hello. So continuing this theme of conflict, Stephen asked me to perform one of my original songs. It's called Quarantine, and it was written during quarantine, funny enough. It was a time of a lot of conflict in my life. I was living with my partner at the time, and we're both introverts, and so being in each other's space all the time really, really caused a lot of struggles. And so I really hope you like it. Sitting on our porch in the cold, I see you in a cloud of smoke. The sunlight glints off the gold in your eyes. Laying on our couch in the night, we're both reeling after a fight. But still I look at you and I see the sunrise. Can't you see how much you mean to me? Take my hand, we'll survive through anything. Us together, we are better than Bonnie and Clyde. Don't mind the weather, all these rainy days will go. We can cuddle up and I'll shut up so we can watch our shows. I said the wrong thing again, and now it seems like all of this could end. I just don't know how to express what's inside. But then you say you're going out to smoke, but before you do, you tell a joke. And I know that will be alright. Can't you see how much you mean to me? Take my hand, we'll survive through anything. Together, we are better than Bonnie and Clyde. Don't mind the weather, all these rainy days will go. We can cuddle up and I'll shut up so we can watch our shows. This world's gone crazy, but just maybe we'll get through it all. It's not easy, but I'll guarantee you're not losing me. You're not losing me. So don't give up on me. Us together, we are better than Bonnie and Clyde. Don't mind the weather, all these rainy days will go. We can cuddle up and I'll shut up so we can watch our shows. We can cuddle up and I'll shut up so we can watch our shows. We can cuddle up and I'll shut up so we can watch our shows. So don't give up on me. Thank you.
That little video, Skylar's song, our prelude, and the story read by Stephanie, all of these are about different kinds of conflict. Conflict in different relationships, in different situations. Conflict is pervasive. Anytime people share life together in any way for a while, conflict happens. Last Sunday, I talked a little bit about conflict. The message was short to allow time for our new members ceremony. And some of you wanted to hear more on the subject. So I decided to say more about it today. Conflict in interpersonal relationships and organizations has fascinated me for years. When I learned about human conflict in an undergraduate communication theory course, I joked to a classmate, I want to anonymously write a book that will cause a bunch of conflict so groups will hire me to help them deal with that conflict. I haven't done that yet, at least not intentionally, but I have learned about conflict and taught about it and written about it. I ended up earning an interdisciplinary graduate certificate in conflict management with courses in communication, psychology, and ministry. Then my doctoral dissertation was about how leaders speak and write through various media to help their organizations deal with conflict. The dissertation analyzed religious communication about racial conflict and ended with a model for understanding and doing organizational leadership in general in ways that can push for change without destroying organizations. I studied conflict. I spoke about it at conferences and colleges and religious organizations. I wrote about it for a magazine, a seminary newsletter, a few blogs, and a couple of academic journals. And I taught about it in college courses. But I still haven't mastered it. I'm still not perfect at dealing with conflict. But I have learned a few things, and I want to share some of that with you this morning. Before I say much more, we might need a definition of conflict. When you hear that word, you might think of arguments, debating, yelling, crying. But that's not what communication and psychology scholars mean by the word conflict. There are several definitions, and a pretty standard one is by psychotherapist Joyce Hawker and communication professor William Wilmot. They define conflict as an expressed struggle between at least two interdependent parties who perceive incompatible goals, scarce resources, and interference from the other party in achieving their goals. That definition is a bit wordy and specific. A simpler, broader definition is by Michelle LeBaron, an interdisciplinary scholar who teaches conflict at a law school. Her book, Bridging Cultural Conflicts, defines conflict as a difference that matters. A difference that matters. It might matter to a lot of people, or it might matter just to the people involved in the conflict. When I was a child and my brother tried to steal my toy, and I got mad and tried to hit him with it, but ended up hitting my other brother instead, there was conflict. But conflict also happens in less combative situations. When you and a friend or family member can't agree on what to eat for dinner, there's conflict. When you are on a road trip and want to listen to music, but someone else in the car wants a different kind of music, there's conflict. When we want to do so many good things in this community but have budget limitations, there's conflict. When adult siblings have different opinions about how to care for an ailing parent, there's conflict. In these and other situations, conflict can start long before an argument. Perhaps we can think of an argument as a result of conflict, maybe even a way to deal with it. But conflict is more than argument. And now that we have an idea of what conflict is, let's review some presuppositions of conflict and think about some ways to deal with it. As I mentioned last Sunday, there are three presuppositions of conflict. Three things we need to acknowledge before we go any further. First, Conflict is inevitable. It happens in all kinds of relationships. Relationships between friends, family members, roommates, lovers, co-workers, the list could go on and on. So first, conflict is inevitable. Second, conflict is neither good nor bad. Communication scholars Roy Schwartzman, Jessica Delk McCall, and Ruth Ann Fox Hines write that conflict is not only inevitable, but also necessary in human relationships. Conflict can cause damage, but we must separate violent attacks from productive disagreements. And an article in the International Journal of Conflict Management explains this in work teams. While relationship conflicts based on personality clashes and interpersonal dislike are detrimental to group functioning, task conflicts based on disagreements regarding the specific task content are beneficial in many situations. In other words, conflict can help us do better than we would as individuals. Conflict can help us discover better ideas and better strategies. So conflict is inevitable and it's neither good nor bad. Third, what is good or bad about conflict is how we deal with it. The statements I just read tell us that conflict can be destructive or constructive. It can hurt or help. What makes the difference is how we deal with the conflict. So, let's consider 5 ways to handle conflict. Back in the mid-1970s, the journal Psychological Reports published an article by Ralph Kilman and Kenneth Thomas. And that article continues to influence our understanding of conflict styles. Their model has been tweaked and developed through the years, but here are the basics. We can think of 5 conflict styles on a graph with the vertical axis representing assertiveness or concern for self, and the horizontal axis representing cooperativeness or concern for others. One conflict style is avoiding. This style is low on both axes. If we avoid a conflict, we ignore it. It doesn't seem worth anyone's time or energy. Let's say that Carol and I disagree about where coffee should be placed at the window back there. Maybe she wants it on one side, and I think it would be better on the other side. Neither of us cares much about where the coffee is placed, so we avoid the conflict. We ignore it. Another conflict style is accommodating. This style is high in cooperativeness and low in assertiveness. Let's say Carol wants the coffee on one side, and I think it would be better on the other side. I don't. This is just hypothetical. And let's say that Carol has a strong opinion about this. She even has a good reason for putting the coffee where she puts it. Maybe if we move it to the other side, an electrical outlet will be overloaded and cause the building to burn down. But I don't know about all that, and I don't really care where the coffee is. I'm going to drink it no matter what side it's on. So I accommodate. Carol places the coffee, and I keep my mouth shut because the coffee's placement is important to her and not to me. I accommodate. A third conflict style is competing. This style is high in assertiveness and low in cooperativeness. Let's say that Carol really wants the coffee on one side because of safety, as I mentioned, and I want it on the other side because the refreshments area is prettier that way. Let's say both of us feel very strongly about this and are not willing to budge. So we have a big, loud argument right here in front of all of you. That's the competing style. My way or the highway, win or lose. Thankfully, these are not the only three styles. A fourth one is compromising. This style is moderate in both assertiveness and cooperativeness. This is when each party gives a little and gets a little. Neither completely gets what they want. It's not a win or a loss for either person. It's more like a draw, a tie. Let's say Carol and I agree that the coffee can go in the middle, not on either side. That's compromising. And the fifth style is collaborating. This one is high in both cooperativeness and assertiveness. Everyone involved gets what's best for everyone and works hard to make it happen. Let's say Carol and I listen to each other enough to understand the situation. Then the coffee stays on the safe side, and we place some flowers or ribbons on the other side to make it pretty. We both put in effort, and we both get what we want. That's collaborating. Each of us, so I'm talking about more than Carol and me now, each of us has a default conflict style. Maybe we learned it from family members or friends, or maybe we learned it through other life experiences. Each person has an automatic way of dealing with conflict, one that just seems to come naturally. Maybe you learned to avoid conflict at all costs, or maybe you learned to fight for your way. And all that's fine as long as we keep the other styles in our conflict toolboxes, readily accessible when needed. Because conflicts are different. Some conflicts aren't worth fighting over. Some conflicts are best handled with accommodation, and some are worth a fight. If everyone involved wants to work together to find a resolution, but can't find a way for all involved to get what they want or need, compromise might be possible. Everybody gets a little bit. And in those rare situations in which people work to find a resolution, and it is possible for all involved to reach their goals, collaboration can be perfect. If each of us sticks to our default style, many conflicts will be destructive. A hammer and a cotton ball are useful tools for different tasks. But using a cotton ball to hit a nail is not a great idea. And using a hammer to remove nail polish is a terrible idea. Different tools for different tasks. Different styles for different conflicts. To know which style to use in which conflict requires an understanding of the situation. What concern is at the core of the conflict? What's the conflict really about? Who's involved in the conflict? What are their default styles? And are they capable of using other styles? What goals are desired by all the people involved in the conflict? Are those goals mutually exclusive? What resources are available for reaching those goals? Is collaboration possible? And if the goals aren't all possible, what are the consequences of not reaching each goal? Sometimes a student will send me a message and scold me for giving them a low grade. You gave me an F. That's so unfair. I deserve better than that. I worked hard and you're mean. My gut reaction is to respond in similar fashion. But I pause and think and strategize because obviously that student hasn't learned different ways to deal with conflict. And responding to a competitive message with a competitive response will almost certainly escalate the situation way beyond what's professionally appropriate. So I respond with something like this. Dear so-and-so, thank you for telling me about this situation. Please check the grading rubric. If you think I made a mistake, please give me the specific details so I can consider your request. Sincerely, Dr. G. Yeah, I've gotten good at that. But recently, I was reading about personality types, and I read that people with my personality type can be good at handling conflict in the workplace and suck at conflict at home. Uh-oh. So I want to keep another tool in my conflict toolbox. And this tool is one I need to use with every conflict. No matter which of the 5 styles I need to use in a specific conflict, there's another one I need to use as well. And that one can help me choose which of the 5 styles to use. It can help me know when to change to a different style. And it can help me succeed no matter the conflict, no matter the style, no matter the outcome. And this super tool is love. I need to want what is best for everyone involved. Maybe we can reach all our goals, or maybe we will need to compromise. Maybe I will need to fight for what's right. Maybe the other person will. But if we keep each other's worth and dignity in mind throughout the whole process, we can win even when we lose. May it be so.
May it be so. Thank you, Rev. Stephen. I had a feeling it was going to be about love, right? So there's a new way of conflict now. Texting. You ever fight over text? Oh, it's the same emotions. I promise. So this is in the Teal hymnal, 1031. And today's lyrics could be changed to, may I be filled with conflict resolution styles. May I be right. So if you would like to get your hymnal, if you would like to stand, please do, if you're willing and able. And we'll sing this through with I, you, and we, right? So 3 times we're going to change the pronoun from I to you to we. Thank you, Tressa. Here we go. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. May we be whole. So mote it be. Thank you all.
We invite you to join in reading these words as we extinguish our chalice. The words are on the screen and in the order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Now Reverend Stephen has a few closing words.
Thank you again for being here today, whether in person or through Facebook. As Jori does our postlude, feel free to move around and visit with each other. But before the postlude, I want to share a few words by Kent McCusick. In the name of all that is holy, may the connections between us inspire and sustain us. May the flame of life within us and amongst us be a sacred reminder that we are all called to serve, to grow, and to love as we continue this journey of transformation.